First contact and deception. The vast emptiness of space stretched before Captain Elena Vega as she stood on the bridge of the ESS Horizon. Earth's most advanced warship cut through the darkness with barely a whisper, its sleek hull concealing technologies that had taken humanity decades to perfect. The ship represented the pinnacle of human ingenuity, a testament to what could be achieved when survival demanded innovation. "Status report," Elena said, her voice calm but authoritative. Commander David Chen looked up from his console, his face illuminated by the blue glow of holographic displays. "All systems nominal, Captain. We've reached the coordinates where the mining vessels disappeared. No debris field, no distress signals, they're just gone." Elena nodded grimly. 7 ships had vanished in this sector over the past 4 months. The Horizon had been dispatched to find answers, but so far they had found only silence. The ship's chief science officer, Dr. Maya Santos, approached with a tablet in hand. "Captain, we're detecting unusual energy signatures approximately 2 light minutes from our position. They're unlike anything in our database." Elena studied the readings. "Origin?" "Unknown," Maya replied, "but they're consistent with advanced propulsion systems, possibly non-human." A hush fell over the bridge. Humanity had expanded to nearby star systems over the past century, but actual contact with another spacefaring civilization had remained elusive. Until now, perhaps. "Battle stations," Elena ordered, her voice steady. "But keep weapons powered down. Let's not start humanity's first interstellar war through a misunderstanding." The crew moved with practiced efficiency as the Horizon's systems shifted to alert status. Lieutenant Commander Jackson, the tactical officer, kept his hands poised over the weapons controls but did not activate them. "Multiple objects approaching, Captain," Chen reported. 15 vessels. Formation suggests military configuration. "Screen," Elena commanded. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a squadron of ships unlike anything they had ever seen. They were angular, with protruding structures that resembled wings or fins, their hulls gleaming with a metallic purple sheen. They moved with precision, maintaining perfect formation despite their high velocity. "First contact," Maya whispered, her scientific detachment momentarily giving way to awe. "They're slowing," Chen noted, holding position just outside what they must assume is our weapons range. "They're being cautious," Elena observed. "Good. That suggests intelligence. Open a channel. All frequencies, universal greeting package." "Channel open," Communications Officer Patel confirmed. "Transmitting now." For several tense minutes, nothing happened. Then, unexpectedly, the view screen changed to show a humanoid figure. Its skin was a pale lavender, with ridges running along its hairless skull. Large, multifaceted eyes studied the humans with what Elena recognized as scientific curiosity. "Greetings, Earth vessel," the alien said in perfect English, its mouth moving in sync with the words. "I am High Commander Talon of the Keldari Sovereign Fleet. You have entered space under our protection." Elena stepped forward. "I am Captain Elena Vega of the Earth spaceship Horizon. We are investigating the disappearance of several human vessels in this region. Our intentions are peaceful." Talon's expression remained unreadable. "We know of no disappeared vessels, but we would be pleased to assist in your search. As is our custom when encountering new species, we request permission to perform a standard scan of your vessel. This will help us better understand your needs and capabilities." Chen muted the transmission. "Captain, I strongly advise against allowing any scan. They could gather tactical information." Elena considered this. "Dr. Santos, your assessment?" Maya thought for a moment. "It could be a genuine cultural protocol, but I'd recommend activating Countermeasure Protocol Delta 9 if you permit it. That would allow a superficial scan while masking our critical systems." Elena nodded and unmuted the transmission. "We will permit a basic scan, High Commander, as a gesture of goodwill." "A wise decision," Talon replied. Elena turned to her chief engineer. "Lieutenant Karim, activate Delta 9. "Delta 9 active, Captain," Karim confirmed, his fingers moving rapidly across his console. A soft humming filled the bridge as the alien scan penetrated the ship. The energy signature was far stronger than Elena had anticipated, suggesting that the Keldari were attempting to gather more information than they had implied. The scan lasted 30 seconds, then abruptly stopped. On the screen, High Commander Talon's composed demeanor had vanished. His multifaceted eyes had widened and his mouth opened slightly. For a moment, he seemed at a loss for words. "Is something wrong, High Commander?" Elena asked, keeping her tone neutral. Talon visibly collected himself. "Not at all, Captain Vega. The scan is complete. We thank you for your cooperation." Before Elena could respond, the transmission ended. The Keldari fleet immediately began to move away at high speed. "They're retreating," Chen said incredulously. "But why?" Elena wondered aloud. "Lieutenant Karim, what happened with that scan?" Karim was reviewing the sensor logs. "Captain, their scan was far more powerful than it should have been. It penetrated several layers of our defenses. They saw more than we intended." "How much more?" Elena pressed. "I can't be certain, but they likely detected portions of our quantum shield array and possibly glimpsed our fusion cascade drive." Elena's eyes narrowed. "And that scared them enough to run." "Interesting." She turned to Chen. "Track them. I want to know where they're going." "Should we pursue, Captain?" Chen asked. Elena considered her options. Her mission was to investigate the disappearances, and the Keldari's reaction suggested they knew more than they were admitting. "Yes, but maintain distance. Keep our advanced stealth systems active." For 3 days, the Horizon followed the Keldari fleet through uncharted space. The alien ships maintained their hurried pace, occasionally changing course but never attempting to confront their human pursuers. On the 4th day, they reached a densely packed star cluster. The Keldari fleet split up, heading for different worlds. "Which one do we follow?" Chen asked. Elena studied the sensor data. The flagship, High Commander Talon's vessel. The Horizon shadowed Talon's ship to a large ringed planet with multiple moons. The alien vessel descended to the surface while the Horizon remained in high orbit. "Scan the planet," Elena ordered. Maya worked at her station. "Extensive civilization, Captain. Multiple species detected, not just Keldari. Technology level appears comparable to ours, possibly more advanced in some areas. I'm detecting massive energy production facilities and what appear to be shipyards." "Any sign they've detected us?" Elena asked. Chen shook his head. "None. Our stealth systems are working perfectly." "Good. Dr. Santos, can you intercept any of their communications?" "Working on it, Captain." After several minutes, Maya looked up with a troubled expression. "It's fragmentary, but I'm seeing frequent references to human technology, unexpected capabilities, and something that translates roughly as existential threat. They're afraid of us." "But why?" Chen wondered. "We didn't threaten them. They saw something in our ship that scared them," Elena said thoughtfully. "Something they didn't expect." "Captain," Maya interrupted, "I'm detecting unusual patterns in their communications network. Important figures from across their territory are being summoned to what appears to be their capital city." Elena's lips curved into a slight smile. "So they scan us, get scared, and call a meeting of their leaders. Interesting. What's our next move?" Chen asked. Elena considered. "We stay and observe. I want to know exactly what we're dealing with." "Here." Lieutenant Rahman from Intelligence approached with a tablet. "Captain, you need to see this. We've been monitoring their information networks and we've found something disturbing." The tablet displayed images of alien species working in what could only be described as slave conditions. Mining operations, factories, and agricultural centers all showed evidence of subjugation. "The Keldari have conquered at least 6 other species," Rahman explained. "They rule through technological superiority and fear. Any world that resists is reportedly destroyed as an example to others." Elena's expression hardened. "And our ships that disappeared?" Based on communications we've intercepted, it seems likely the Keldari destroyed them to prevent knowledge of their empire from reaching Earth. They consider any advanced civilization a potential threat to their dominance. And now they've encountered us, Elena said softly. A species with technology that might rival or exceed their own. Captain, Patel called from communications, we're receiving a transmission from the planet's surface. Put it through, Elena ordered. The screen displayed not High Commander Tylan but a different Keldari, older and adorned with elaborate markings on his skull ridges. Captain Vega of Earth, the alien began. I am Supreme Sovereign Narat of the Keldari Dominion. I wish to extend my personal greetings and apologize for High Commander Talan's abrupt departure during your initial meeting. There was an unfortunate misunderstanding. Elena kept her expression neutral. No apology necessary, Supreme Sovereign. We were simply concerned when your ships left so suddenly. Narat smiled, revealing teeth that seemed too sharp for a purely herbivorous diet. A regrettable error in protocol. We would like to make amends by inviting you to a diplomatic meeting, a chance for our peoples to learn about each other. That's a generous offer, Elena replied. Where would this meeting take place? There is a space station called Nexus Point in a nearby system. It serves as neutral territory for diplomatic engagements. Would that be acceptable? Elena pretended to consider. It could be. I would need to consult with my superiors. Of course, Narat agreed, his smile never wavering. Take all the time you need. We are eager to establish friendly relations with Earth. After the transmission ended, Elena turned to her officers. Thoughts? It's a trap, Chen said immediately. Definitely, Rahman agreed. They were terrified of us yesterday. Now they want to be friends? Maya looked thoughtful. The question is, what kind of trap? They're not planning a direct attack. They'd have done that already if they thought they could win. No, Elena said. This is more subtle. They want to study us, learn about our technology, find our weaknesses. She paused, then continued with a smile. And we're going to let them. Captain? Chen questioned. While they're studying us, we'll be studying them, Elena explained. And we have an advantage they don't know about. What's that? Maya asked. Elena's smile grew wider. They think they're dealing with just one ship. They have no idea that Earth sent a second vessel to this sector when our ship started disappearing. Chen's eyes widened in realization. The ESS Vigilant. Exactly, Elena confirmed. While we're keeping the Keldari distracted with diplomacy, the Vigilant will continue gathering intelligence on their empire. By the time they realize what we're doing, it will be too late. On the planet. Below, Supreme Sovereign Narat watched the human warship with calculating eyes. They will accept, he told High Commander Talan confidently. And when they do, we will learn the secrets of their technology. Then, we will eliminate this threat to our dominion once and for all. Little did he know that at that very moment, human eyes were watching him from much closer than he could imagine, and the fate of his empire had already been sealed. Escalation and resolution. Nexus Point Station hung in the darkness of space like a massive metal lotus, its petals reaching outward to accommodate various docking facilities. At one arm of the station, the ESS Horizon waited. At the opposite end, the Keldari diplomatic vessel had arrived 3 days earlier. Captain Elena Vega adjusted her formal uniform as she prepared to meet the Keldari representatives. Ambassador James Rodriguez stood nearby, reviewing diplomatic protocols on his tablet. Remember, Elena said quietly, they want something from us. Don't be too eager to give it. Rodriguez nodded. He was an experienced diplomat with silver streaks in his dark hair and calm, perceptive eyes. This isn't my first dance with beings who have hidden motives, Captain. Security Chief Kowalski approached with a final briefing. My team is in position throughout the station. If the Keldari try anything, we'll know. The doors to the conference room slid open, and 3 Keldari entered. Their leader, a tall figure adorned with ceremonial armor and elaborate markings, stepped forward. Ambassador Rodriguez, Captain Vega, the Keldari said smoothly. I am Envoy Malin. Supreme Sovereign Narat sends his personal regards. Rodriguez stepped forward with a practiced smile. The pleasure is ours, Envoy Malin. Earth looks forward to establishing mutual understanding with the Keldari Dominion. They sat at a large circular table. Attendants brought refreshments suitable for both species. I must say, Malin began, we are most impressed by your vessel, the Horizon. Such remarkable technology in a species we had not yet encountered. Elena kept her face neutral. We are equally interested in learning about Keldari achievements. Your dominion spans multiple star systems, I understand. A flash of surprise crossed Malin's face before he masked it. You are well informed, Captain. We try to be, Elena replied evenly. For the next 2 hours, they discussed potential trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and scientific cooperation. The Keldari seemed especially interested in joint research projects involving Earth's propulsion and shield technology. Perhaps a tour of your vessel might help us understand how we could best collaborate, Malin suggested, his tone casual. Rodriguez smiled diplomatically. A wonderful idea, and we would be honored to tour your ships as well. Malin's smile flickered. Of course, though our vessels are currently undergoing routine maintenance. What a shame, Elena said. Another time, perhaps, when the meeting concluded, Kowalski approached Elena as the Keldari delegation departed. One of my team spotted a Keldari technician near the Horizon's docking port. He claimed to be checking station systems, but the station administrator confirmed no such maintenance was scheduled. Elena nodded. They're getting impatient. Have Lieutenant Karim enhance security on all ship systems. Already done, Kowalski confirmed. And we've received an update from the Vigilant. They've infiltrated the Keldari central database. The information is being transmitted now. On the Keldari side of the station, Envoy Malin met with a technician. In a secure room. Did you gain access to their ship? Malin demanded. The technician shook his head. Impossible. Their security measures are too sophisticated. However, I placed scanning devices nearby. We're gathering some data, but not enough. Not enough, Malin hissed. Supreme Sovereign Narat demands their technology. The diplomatic approach is taking too long. There is another way, the technician suggested. We've identified their chief engineer. He often visits the station's recreation center after his duty shift. Perhaps with the right conversation? Malin smiled coldly. Make it happen, Lieutenant. Karim sat at the recreation center's bar, seemingly enjoying a moment of relaxation. The colorful drink before him was his third of the evening. A Keldari sat down beside him. You serve on the Earth ship? The Keldari asked casually. I do, Karim replied. An engineer, I believe. Karim looked at the alien through narrowed eyes. Who's asking? Just a fellow technician, the Keldari said, ordering a drink. I'm fascinated by different approaches to similar problems. Your ship's design is intriguing. Karim took another sip. Is it now? Yes, the Keldari continued. Especially your propulsion system. We've never seen anything quite like it. Karim laughed suddenly. Sure. Let me tell you all about our quantum resonance matrix. It's powered by a rare material we call... He leaned closer and whispered something. The Keldari looked confused. I'm not familiar with this term. Karim stood up, surprisingly steady for someone who appeared intoxicated. It means I know exactly what you're doing, and it's not working. Good night. He walked away, tapping his communicator as he left. Captain, they just made an attempt to extract technical information, proceeding with Phase 2 as planned. Back on the Horizon, Dr. Santos worked through the night, analyzing the data transmitted from the Vigilant. The findings were disturbing. It's worse than we thought, Santos reported to Elena in her ready room. The Keldari have systematically conquered 6 species by leveraging technological superiority. Each subjugated world provides resources and labor to the Dominion. Elena's expression darkened. No wonder they were so frightened by our ship. We're the first potential threat to their way of life. There's more, Santos continued. Despite these peace talks, their fleet is mobilizing. According to this data, they're preparing for war. How long do we have? 5 days, maybe less. Elena nodded decisively. Then we need to move to the next phase of our plan. The following day, Ambassador Rodriguez met with Envoy Malon. The Keldari seemed tense, his patience visibly wearing thin. "We have prepared a preliminary agreement," Rodriguez said, sliding a tablet across the table. "A starting point for our future relationship." Malon glanced at it. "This is generous." "Earth believes in fair dealings," Rodriguez replied. Malon forced a smile. "We will review it carefully. Perhaps we could expedite matters by beginning the technology exchange immediately? A show of good faith." Rodriguez appeared thoughtful. "Actually, Captain Vega has authorized me to share some technical data as a gesture of trust." Malon couldn't hide his excitement. "That is excellent news." Rodriguez handed over a data crystal. "Basic schematics for our shield modulation system. Nothing classified, but it should demonstrate our willingness to cooperate." Malon took the crystal carefully. "The Dominion appreciates this gesture. We will prepare something similar to share with you." After the meeting, Malon rushed to a secure room where the Keldari's chief scientist waited. "We have it," Malon said triumphantly, handing over the crystal. "The humans are more trusting than anticipated." The scientist inserted the crystal into a reader, eyes widening as she studied the schematics. "This is remarkable. Simple, yet elegant. Our engineers can adapt this to our systems quickly." "How soon?" Malon asked eagerly. "Days, not weeks," the scientist replied. "With this, we might not need to wait for the full fleet to arrive." "Excellent," Malon said. "Inform Supreme Sovereign Narat. The humans have given us exactly what we needed." Back on the horizon, Elena met with Rodriguez and her senior officers. "Did they take the bait?" Elena asked. Rodriguez smiled. "Like hungry predators, Malon could barely contain himself. And they don't suspect?" "Not at all. The schematics look completely authentic." Elena nodded with satisfaction. "Lieutenant Karim did excellent work. The shield modifications they're studying will appear perfectly functional in simulations." "But in actual combat?" Chen asked. Elena's smile was cold. "They'll fail catastrophically at the worst possible moment. By the time they realize what we've done, it will be too late." 3 days later, alarms blared throughout the horizon, waking Elena from a light sleep. She was dressed and on the bridge in minutes. "Report," she commanded, taking her seat. Chen looked up from his console. "Keldari fleet detected, Captain. 27 ships approaching from multiple vectors. They've abandoned all pretense of diplomacy." Elena nodded. She had expected this. The Keldari had studied the false shield schematics and must now feel confident in their ability to defeat Earth technology. "Battle stations," she ordered calmly. "Where is Ambassador Rodriguez?" "Already returned to the horizon," Kowalski reported. "The Keldari delegation left Nexus Point without notice 6 hours ago." "And our other ships?" Elena asked. Chen checked his screen. "The Vigilant and the Dauntless are in position but remain hidden. The Keldari don't know they're there." Elena allowed herself a small smile. Earth had sent additional reinforcements, but kept them concealed. The Keldari thought they were facing only the horizon. "Open a channel to the Keldari fleet," Elena ordered. The main screen flickered to life, showing Supreme Sovereign Narat himself. He sat on what appeared to be a command throne on the bridge of his flagship. "Captain Vega," Narat said, his voice cold, "your deception ends today." Elena raised an eyebrow. "Deception? We came in peace. You were the ones preparing for war while talking of friendship." Narat smiled. "A necessary precaution. Your kind represents a threat to the natural order. Your technology must not be allowed to spread." "And what natural order is that?" Elena asked. "The one where the Keldari rule over 6 enslaved species?" Narat's smile vanished. "You know too much. It is fortunate we will not need to negotiate your surrender. We already have what we need from you. The transmission ended abruptly. "They're powering weapons," Chen reported, his voice steady despite the tension. Elena leaned forward. "All crew, prepare for combat. Defense Protocol Omega now in effect." Throughout the ship, crew members activated special systems that had been hidden until this moment. The Horizon's power signature began to change. Kareem's voice came over the comm from engineering. "Ready down here, Captain. They're in for a surprise." "Good," Elena replied. "Hold steady. Let them make the first move." The Keldari didn't wait long. Their lead ships opened fire, energy beams streaking across space toward the horizon. "Impact in 3 seconds," Chen called out. Elena gripped her armrests. "Steady." The Keldari weapons hit the horizon shields. There was a flash of light, but the ship barely shuddered. "Shields holding at 99%, Chen reported with a grim smile. On the Keldari flagship, Narat stared in disbelief at his tactical display. "Impossible," he shouted. "Their shields should have failed. The schematic showed a fundamental weakness in the modulation pattern." The chief scientist looked pale. "They tricked us. The schematics were deliberately falsified." "How bad is it?" Narat demanded. "Our weapons are barely affecting their shields," a tactical officer reported. "And there's something else. Their power signature is changing. It's much stronger than our initial scans indicated." Narat slammed his fist on his throne. "They've been hiding their true capabilities all along." Back on the horizon, Elena watched the Keldari fleet with calm eyes. "They've realized their mistake," she observed. "Time to show them what we can really do." She nodded to Chen. "Target their flagship's weapon systems. Fire when ready." The Horizon's main weapons array glowed bright blue, then released a concentrated beam of energy that cut through space like a precision instrument. It struck the Keldari flagship with surgical accuracy, destroying its primary weapons array in a flash of light and debris. "Direct hit," Chen reported. "Their main weapons are disabled." "Now the secondary ships," Elena ordered. The Horizon moved, with surprising agility for a vessel its size, turning to face the next target. 2 more precision strikes disabled 2 more Keldari ships. "The remaining ships are adjusting their attack pattern," Chen warned. "They're trying to surround us." Elena nodded. "Just as we expected. Signal the Vigilant and the Dauntless. Time to spring the trap." From their hidden positions, 2 more Earth warships suddenly appeared, their advanced stealth systems deactivated. They immediately opened fire on the unsuspecting Keldari fleet from behind. Caught between 3 Earth warships, the Keldari fleet fell into chaos. Some ships tried to flee, others continued fighting, but their coordination was broken. On the Keldari, flagship alarms blared as systems failed. "We're surrounded," the tactical officer shouted. 2 more human ships appeared from nowhere. Narat's face had turned a dark shade of lavender with rage and fear. "How? How did they know?" The scientist had no answer. Nothing in her experience had prepared her for this. The Keldari had always been the technological superiors in any conflict. They had never faced an enemy that could outthink and outfight them. "Supreme Sovereign," the tactical officer called urgently. "Our shields are failing across the fleet. 7 ships have already been disabled." Narat stared at the tactical display in disbelief. The human ships were systematically targeting weapons and engines, disabling the Keldari vessels without destroying them. "They're not even trying to kill us," he realized aloud. "They're toying with us." "Should we surrender?" High Commander Talon asked quietly. Narat's pride rebelled at the thought, but his survival instinct was stronger. "Open a channel to the Horizon." On the Horizon's bridge, Elena answered the incoming transmission. Narat's face appeared on screen, no longer confident but still defiant. "Enough, Captain Vega," Narat said. "You have made your point. We will withdraw." Elena shook her head. "Not good enough, Supreme Sovereign. Your fleet is disabled. You will surrender to Earth forces immediately." "And if we refuse?" Narat challenged. Elena's expression was resolute. "Then we will be forced to demonstrate the true power of our weapons. So far, we've been careful to avoid unnecessary loss of life. That can change." Narat's face showed internal conflict, but finally he nodded. Very well, we surrender. After the transmission ended, Chen turned to Elena. That was almost too easy. This was just the battle, Elena replied. Winning the peace will be harder. The Earthships moved among the disabled Keldari vessels, securing them one by one. Boarding parties transferred to the Keldari flagship, led by Kowalski. Hours later, Kowalski brought Supreme Sovereign Narat to the Horizons conference room. Elena was waiting with Santos and Karim. Welcome aboard, Supreme Sovereign, Elena said. Please sit down. Narat sat stiffly, his pride clearly wounded. Your victory was impressive, Captain, but this isn't over. The Dominion spans many worlds. We know, Elena replied. Our ships have visited several of them already. Narat couldn't hide his shock. Impossible. We would have detected them. Karim laughed. Like you detected our other ships? Or our true shield capabilities? Or the fact that we fed you false technical data? Elena leaned forward. You've built your empire on technological intimidation, Supreme Sovereign. But technology isn't enough. You need innovation, adaptability, and something else. What? Narat asked bitterly. Humanity, Santos answered. Not just being human, but the quality itself. Compassion, respect for others, cooperation. Things the Keldari Dominion has forgotten. Elena nodded. Your empire is built on sand, Supreme Sovereign, and now it's collapsing. But it doesn't have to end in destruction. We're offering you a choice. What choice? Narat asked suspiciously. Join us as equals, Elena said. Free the species you've subjugated. Help us build something better, a galactic community based on mutual respect and cooperation. And if we refuse, Narat challenged. Then we'll free them ourselves, Elena replied simply. Your technological advantage is gone. The choice is yours, adaptation or extinction. As the human and Keldari leaders began negotiating the terms of a new era, the news spread rapidly across the stars. On 6 subjugated worlds, beings looked to the skies with hope for the first time in generations. The humans had come not as conquerors but as liberators, and in the great void between stars, word began to spread of a species unlike any other. Humans, who combined technological brilliance with something even more powerful, the capacity to choose cooperation over domination, even when they held the upper hand. The Keldari had scanned Earth's warship and instantly knew they were destined for ruin. What they hadn't realized was that it would be the ruin of their empire, but perhaps the salvation of their species.